Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to those joining us via live stream. Again, my name is Jacqueline Flores. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I'm the LTC producer. Yeah. And we have now arrived at the closing ceremonies for the LTC's 10th anniversary convening. Come on. Time flies when you're having fun, and I think I've had a little too much fun because if you've noticed, my voice is getting hoarser every single day, and I don't know what's going on, so bear with me. I'm not used to talking this much, I guess. But I'd like to introduce you all to Olga Sanchez Saltveit, who we gotta say more words about her, you know? We heard from Olga during opening ceremonies, and last year, Abel Lopez and I curated a series for HowlRound called Latinx Theater Leaders at the Forefront, and Olga graciously agreed to be part of this. She and LTC Advisory Committee member Shayna Schlossberg had a conversation that we published on HowlRound that was so rich, we actually split it into 2 parts, and I think you should all go read it. But there's something Olga said that really stuck in my mind. And she said, where your heart is and where your mind is, where your intellect is and where your spirit is, it doesn't matter what space you enter. You're going to do useful work. You're going to do important work because you're already coming in with a desire to be in a space where you can make change. Olga is an actor, director, deviser, and arts activist whose work has been seen throughout the US and in Peru, Venezuela, Honduras, my country, and Cuba. She is the artistic director emerita for Milagro, the Pacific Northwest premier Latinx arts and culture organization. Following her service as the company's artistic director from 2003 to 2015, and currently she is an assistant professor of theater at Middlebury College. Olga also served as co-artistic director of the People's Playhouse in New York City, artistic director of Seattle Teatro Latino, and co-founder of La Casa de Artes, a Seattle-based nonprofit organization dedicated to celebrating the beauty of Latinx arts and culture heritage. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Olga.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Thanks, everybody. Hi, should be speaking in a mic. Yes. Okay, all right. I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay. Hi. Hi. I am so happy to be here. Not so much here, but I'm just like looking around and going, I'm so happy to see you all. Veteranos and veteranos to come. Oh, yes. I'm glad they're calling us veteranos and not elders. It's all good. I have been asked, this is very strange, but okay. Sorry. I have been asked to talk about folks, as I sit here and stand here and talk about folks that are here with much joy in my heart, I'm looking around, to think about folks that aren't here. Folks who may be here with us in spirit, but who are no longer on the same flesh and blood plane. Okay, I have to speak into the mic. So, a couple of years ago, about 2013, we were here and we built an ofrenda, an altar, Dia de Muertos, because it was Dia de Muertos when we got together in the fall. And we invited everybody. The invitation was to bring images or mementos. And this was the story that Melinda Lopez told. She was being gifted by the Corazon by Josefina Lopez. And we filled that altar with images, mementos of people who inspired us upon whose shoulders we stand and continue to stand. And at the time, unlike often traditional ofrendas or altares, it didn't have to be dead people. So there were a lot of people who were honored on that altar who are now not alive. And that's sobering and hard, but it's important to recognize our fragility, our beautiful life, our beautiful time together, our what we share with each other as we are alive, and what we leave behind when we're gone. And this is part of that. This gathering is part of that, and this room, and everybody in this room, and todos los que no están aquí, but who are with us in our hearts, in our memories, in our stories, in our work, in our creativity, in our dance, in our art, in our family, in our meals, together, in our brindis, right? So there's a few people that I've been asked to mention. And I will also be asking you to hold in your hearts people that don't get mentioned by me and a few other folks who are going to help me mention a few folks. And we'll get to that in a second. But let's, just for a second, let's tear a breath, right? A breath in. And hold. And release. And let's remember. In. And hold. And release. And remember with joy and thanks. So I'm going to begin by mentioning Miriam Colón, Puerto Riqueña, who went to New York and in the 50s started a revolution of Puerto Rican theater. Being in a production of La Carreta, the ox cart, that was so popular and so groundbreaking in New York City that it fueled a creativity. Other companies started doing things. There was some of it was political, some of it was art for art's sake. I'm sorry, I'm not just saying political. It's not art. Yeah, I see you. I feel you. But you know what I mean. Some of it was celebratory stories. Some of it was definitely, we're making a statement here. All of it was art. Okay. The point is, Miriam started a revolution that then became the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. She brought theater, English, Spanish, Puerto Rican theme, all over New York City, and brought it to the people and inspired so many generations of Puerto Ricans and New Yorkers and people, anybody who came in her contact. And that Puerto Rican Traveling Theater found a home and has thrived. And ultimately, her ultimate contribution was to hand over this gift, right, to Rosalba Rolón and the folks at Pregones to become the Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. So this is, for me, the story of a person who's so talented and so creative and so powerful and so generous on top of it, to know that it's bigger than just her, to know that it's to be shared, and when you've got something good, pass it on, keep it growing. Miriam Colón, who passed in 2017. I have the honor to talk about Maria Irene Fornes, who, born in 1930, came to New York in 1945 at the age of 15. Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, but went to high school for about 5 minutes and went I don't think so. And went off and started doing her art. And first it was visual art, and then she was in Paris, like you do. And she sees a production of Waiting for Godot, I think it's the production, like the first. And just goes like, that's what I want to do. I want to do it three-dimensionally. I want to see the bodies, I want to see the pulse, I want to see the heartbeat, I want to see the sweat, and I want to shape it. I want to shape what it looks like. I want to do the colors, because she's a visual artist. I want to know what the texture is of the fabric. I want to write the plays. And she becomes one of the most influential playwrights, never mind teachers, in the country, in the world. But I'll take a slight step back. She with her incredible imagination and her desire to break form and create new form, and mostly it's a creative. She's not destroying, she's creating, she's making new. She's going, I'm inspired. Why don't we do this? Let's do this. Let's go into a space and do the play in 5 different rooms. And then the audience will split up, and you'll go there, and you'll go there, and things will happen at the same time, and then we'll come back together and do the last act. And you're like, okay. That's her. And she becomes known as the mother of the avant-garde, of the off-Broadway movement. And plays, 30 plays. And then she's directing them. This is another notable thing. She's one of the first playwrights to direct her own work. At the time, it was like, I'm a playwright, here's my play. And somebody else would direct it. And she's like, no, thank you. I got it. So that's another sort of, we take this for granted now, and she's breaking ground. A teacher, the most influential Latine playwriting teachers, Ann Garcia Romero, Midaya Cruz, Nilo Cruz, Eduardo Machado, so many people, Caridad Svich, so we've got titans of Latine playwriting emerging from her workshops. And thankfully, thank you very much, Anne and Midaya, for continuing to teach that methodology that is unlike any. I'm going on, but Maria Irene Fornes, who left us in 2018. Hugo Medrano, Washington, D.C., Argentinian, who came to D.C., started a bilingual company and then he went, no, I'm doing it all in Spanish. With his wife, Rebecca, a person of so much heart and grace and intelligence and passion and drive, and raises $4 million and turns over the Tivoli Theater into his space, into their space, the Gala in Washington, D.C. A beautiful space where so many artists, so many Spanish-speaking artists have come through, have invested, have shown on the stage, have brought works to a very international city and saying, and this is Teatro Latine or Hispano or Latinoamericano, however we want to say it. But this is that theater, and Hugo was our champion. And just his loss, a shock to me, and again, a leader in our community, somebody who held the banner high. I'm going to invite a couple of people to speak. First, Silvia Cervantes Blush, if you could please join me up here. ¿Dónde estás? Perfecto.
I'm a little shorter than you. Hola, I'm Silvia Cervantes Blush, ella, she, her, hers. It's my first time speaking to the group. My entrance to the convening is 2014 as an Encuentro Fellow in LA, first time participating. Jacqueline asked if I would say a little something about Margarita Galvan. Margarita Galvan was a Cuban-born actress who also is a co-founder of the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts. And the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts was housed in the old city jail in Lincoln Heights, where the Zoot Suiters were brought in. I think even Al Capone was in there at one point. But I think that says a lot about who she was in her strength as a woman, as a writer, as a director. I met her in 2011 when I was looking for a space to produce and direct a play. And I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to even produce and create this thing. But out of all the places that I visited, her place, and when I met with her, it was the first time that I felt empowered. And I felt like she gave me the strength and the go-ahead to move in that direction. And all of it was also because she made me speak to her in Spanish, which was something that she was really wonderful about in preserving bilingual theater in the community and raising and preserving Hispanic culture in doing Spanish Golden Age plays, taking them out into the communities at schools, bringing schools into this space to see these performances, and community after community, a 50-year legacy was built. And if it hadn't been for her opening the doors to me the way she had, I would not have met my own Latino community, which introduced me to Jose Luis, which introduced me to Karen Zacarias, which introduced me to you. So that's who Margarita Galvan was, and I believe it was just last year that we lost her.
Thank you. And finally, we're going to invite Miranda Gonzalez. Thank you, Miranda.
Hi, everyone. The first time I'm speaking up here, too. I'm Miranda Gonzalez, she, her, hers. My entry point into the LTC was through the Goodman Theater at the Satellite. I was one of the satellites in 2013. So while you all were here, I was the one watching the live stream with Henry Godinez and about 30 other Chicago locals. And I was very pregnant. I'm so happy I'm not anymore. Okay. So I was asked to come up here to talk about Mirna Salazar. Mirna Salazar is, for those who do not know, is the founder of the Chicago Latino Theater Alliance in Chicago in 2016. I have known Mirna since I was 13 years old, or knew. She still feels with me, I still hear her. And represented the majority of the actors that you have seen across regional theater in many lifetimes, which include Ivan Vega, they include Sharin Alvarez, they include, oh gosh, the list is so long, Eddie Torres, anybody who was in Teatro Vista, Sandra Delgado, Sandra Marquez, everyone. And she had a Latino theater agency because back then there was no Latine language, and fought for us in a way that we were not ready for. She got me my first recurring role on Joan Cusack, and I was in the room when she negotiated my contract, and I didn't know what it was to be that strong. And she yelled, "No, no, 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 no. She has to get a starring role." And I got it. When it came to, she's a native of Puerto Rico. She was raised in Chicago. She was the first pageant queen, the Puerto Rican pageant queen that she was very proud of. And if she met you all today, she would have been like, I was the first. And then she would follow up with, and Sandra Delgado wrote me in her play, Havana, Madrid. Right? That was me, you know. And Claudia got to play her. Yes. And when she brought us together in 2016, she brought all the Latino theater companies, or at least the ones that she had seen grow up. And, let me take a step back. Before that, she met with Alex Meda and I in 2011, and at the International Latino Cultural Center, and said, all of you theater people should get together. And we were like, okay? She's like, who's gonna get everybody together? Because, together is the only way you're gonna get whatever you want. Look at the Goodman. Look at that. Don't you want that? And Alex and I were like, we don't know. Have you read our mission? And then she got very frustrated and continued to work there, and then got us all together in 2016 and said, remember when I told you? So this is what I'm doing. And we all sat there, including Ricardo Gutierrez, and we said, Mirna, but you're not a producer, like a theater producer. What are you gonna do? She's like, well, I don't know, tell me. And then we led her to Jose Luis, because everybody leads everybody to Jose Luis. And we sent her to Encuentro in 2014. And everybody was like, who is this person from Chicago who is loud and does not know the history of theater? But she didn't care. My point is, she didn't care. That was her personality. She knew that the movement only worked if we were together. And she knew that even though there was another, oh, shoot. Sorry. That if there was any entry point, it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether we hated each other, and it didn't matter. What mattered is that we were seen. No matter what avenue we wanted to be seen. And so, that was Mirna. So if you can catch Havana Madrid in Chicago at Millennium Park, you will see another person play her. Thank you.
This is the moment. Oh, yeah. I'm going to say a name, and I would like you to all say presente. Miriam Colon. Presente. Maria Irene Fornes. Presente. Hugo Medrano. Presente. Margarita Galván. Presente. Mirna Salazar. Presente. And I invite you to call out a name, and we will all say.
Lorenzo Manos.
Presente.
Diane Rodriguez. Presente. Michael Escamilla. Presente. Chita Rivera. Presente. René Bush.
Presente.
Jeremy Morez.
Presente.
Tenzin Ortega.
Presente.
Gilberto Saldívar.
Presente. Presente. Rubén Sierra. Presente. Presente. Miguel Piñero. Presente. Jaime Carrillo. Presente. 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 We're not done just yet. So hold that thought. We'll come back. The last person I get to talk about is my friend, Diane Rodriguez, who was a force of nature. So many things. So Diane started out in her theatrical career because she was an activist. Chicano movement, movimiento, activist, a young person in college doing that thing, going like, now what? Oh, teatro, let's do that. I believe was a co-founder of Teatro Esperanza, Teatro de la Esperanza. Thank you, Jorge Huerta, who... No. Jose. Well, long may you not be presente. Teatro de la Esperanza, and then gets consumed into el teatro campesino. And as an actor, so creating art that's activist, that's telling the stories, the Chicano stories that need to be told, that's making some issues rise to the forefront, that's activating other people in our audience, that's getting people on their feet and going, yes, we can, sí se puede, and moving people forward in that movement in such an important way, and then moves on. And then starts working over for the Latino Theater Initiative, part of the Center Theater Group, and becomes a co-producer, and following José Luis Valenzuela, in partnership with Luis Alfaro, and helms that project, I think it's 10 years, bringing such a variety of theater forward, and bringing, that was one of her, aside from being like a brilliant director and an actor, was also in getting people into the circle. Getting people into the circle and saying, you can be part of this, you can be part of this, you could totally be part of this. What are you like? It's okay, you're 12, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Come, be part of this thing, let's make this happen together. She was a force to bring people together and help and lift them up. And she kept doing that her whole career. And for that, she becomes TCG board, president of TCG. She gets asked by President Obama to be on I have it here, the National Council for the Arts. Yeah, so now she's at a national level going, we can do this, we can have presence. Come. And she left us young. She left us young. She left us in 2020. But there has been a legacy built around her through the LTC. And it's the Diane Rodriguez Award. And I want to call out Patricia Garza and Adriana Gaviria, who were our 2022 and 2023 recipients of the Diane Rodriguez Award. Stand up. Stand up. And I don't have the definition of the award, but I know that it is not just because you're fabulous, talented people, but because you are people who also bring people together and help them rise. And it's a thing that we do as a circle, is rise together, but you in particular, both of you have, through your work, been people who empower, and by empowering people, empower our community, and we are very grateful to you both for that. Thank you so much. So I'm left with this thought of service. We're honoring folks who served so beautifully, who gave their heart, who gave their talent, who thought outside the box, who pushed limits, who redefined, who helped all of us by their example, and for whom we remain grateful. And we've called out a number of names of people in our own lives for whom we remain grateful for what they've given us, for the ways in which they've inspired us, for the way in which they've shown us the way or pushed us or invited us. And so with that, I just want to ask us all to do a final together. Presente. Presente. Thank you.
I just want to, first of all, I'm Lisa Portes, she, her, ella. I am the new chair of the Department of Theater and Dance at UCSD. And I have been with the LTC. I was one of the original DC-8, and it's been 10 years, y'all. It's been 10 years. I want to say about Olga. Olga came in today and was told, hey, Olga, can you do In Memoriam? Because the person who was going to do In Memoriam was Chantal. So can we just give Olga a hand? She literally put those words together in like an hour. And so that is the scholar and the veterana and the caring, beautiful soul that Olga Sanchez Salvet is. So thank you, Olga, for that. I am here on a slightly different note. Sometimes when we get to these convenings, we're like, whoa, that was amazing. I feel so inspired. I've got so many good ideas. And then we go home and we're like, and then my life is happening. And then I forgot I was going to do all those things, but it was really cool to be there. And this happened to us, I'll be very honest with you, when we met in Washington, D.C., when Karen Zacarias called us together, we, as Anne will attest, she's here, we were very excited and inspired. We had 2 days. We gave ourselves 90 minutes to bitch about the state of Latino theater. At the time it was Latino, and then we said Latinao, and then it's Latinx, and now it's Latine. But we gave ourselves about an hour and a half to bitch about the state of things, and then we spent the next day and a half thinking about what we were going to do. And then we left. And I thought, well, I've been to 10 million conversations where we decide what we're going to do, and then we all go home, and then our lives take over, and then we don't do it. But this time, we did. And the reason we did is, well, there's twofold. One is because we kept saying we were going to do it, right? And the other was we had a grant we had to write, because we were going to write a grant for this convening. So the first thing we did was write the Doris Duke grant for the convening in 2013. And in writing that, and we also just started to speak it. Jose Luis was like, we're going to do this encuentro. And I was like, we're going to do this carnaval. And we just started to speak it out into the world. In fact, I started speaking it into the press, and my dean at DePaul University called me and said, we're doing what? I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this thing. And that came from Anne Bogart, actually, the great director Anne Bogart, who says sometimes you just have to speak it into the world over and over and over again and tell everybody that you talk to that this is what you're doing. And that is actually, then you have a responsibility, and then you have to do it, right? So what we're going to do right now is, do I have, Julie, yes, okay, great. So we're passing out two things right now. We're passing out postcards. You're going to get a postcard. Everybody take one. Go ahead, pass them out. We're going to pass out postcards, and we're going to pass out these cards of gratitude. When you get a postcard, what I want you to do, or what we want you to do, is to write what you are going to do. Something that you are going to do in the next year, the next 5 minutes, lo que sea, right? Something that you are going to do, something you are committed to do for the uplifting of Latine theater in the United States, and write your address on it. What happened? Or Canada, yes. But write what you're going to do and write your address on it. And then keep it. It will be collected shortly. Also, you're going to receive a little other card, which is a card of gratitude. You can use this or not use this, but you can write somebody that you were inspired by here. Say you were inspired by somebody. I hope you were inspired by somebody. Write them a little note. Thank you for whatever. And you can give it to them at the party tonight. There's not going to be a formal giving, but you can give it to them at any time. Yes? I've been inspired by so many people, Diane Rodriguez being one of them, and so many that are here today. So we're going to give you 7 minutes. Did we decide that? 7 minutes to write yourself a commitment. I will, etc. And write your address. And if you want to write a card of gratitude, write a card of gratitude or not. Okay? Can somebody play some music, or shall I sing? Gracias a la vida que me han dado tanto. Gracias a la vida. People need pens. Oh yeah, there's the music. About it. Think about how can we continue this work individually and collectively. What can you do? What can you do in partnership with somebody else? pull into your circle? Who can you uplift? Who can you mentor?
Desde el cielo todo es más bonito. Déjame llevarte a las
Write your actual
estrellas
address.
otra vez, como la noche
Don't send it to
de
your
ayer.
mother.
Vámonos a amarte donde nadie vaya a buscarte, ni a ti, ni a mí, donde todo es más callado y solitario.
Yeah, you can grab more gracias cards.
Donde no
If you want another gracias card, just raise your hand. Thank you to the HowlRound staff.
que tú y yo. Dejemos la tierra llena de gente tan mierda que nos quiere aplastar. Vámonos de viaje a las estrellas y amarte, olvidar nuestros problemas tan punzantes. Contemplemos las constelaciones y todas nuestras visiones que nos quitan el vacío que sentimos en la tierra. Toma mi mano y vámonos de aquí. Ponte tu suéter gris y comencemos a huir.
We've got about another 2 minutes. Yeah, and if you'd like another gratitude card, just raise your hand. Oh yeah, I see some more gratitude cards over here. Thank you.
Amarte donde nadie vaya a
And you're going to
buscar.
hang on to your gratitude card until you give it away. And you're also going to hang on to your postcard for the time being.
Más callado y solitario.
However, when your commitment cards, your postcards are collected, they will be archived and then they'll be sent to you. How are we archiving the cards? We'll scan them.
To hold each other accountable, of course. You do not have to give us your postcard if you do not want to. But if you would like us to archive it and in 10 years, whenever I send, it's not going to be me, but somebody else sends, do you remember when you did this in 2024? You're going to be like, yeah, it's in the archive.
In 2013, we had loteria cards that we wrote on, and actually somebody still has those lote cards with our promises to ourselves. So again, you don't have to give it in, but if you want to, we'll archive it. If not, just mail it to yourself, or we could give you a stamp. Yes, you give yourself. We're going to mail it back to you in a couple of weeks. Don't worry. You could also write "Do not archive." You could also just write "Do not archive" and it won't be archived. You have about 1 minute. One minute. Okay. Do we have more gratitude cards? No, we're out. Oh, here it comes. Last one. But we're going to start something else, so hang on to that gratitude card. Okay, let's wind down the music if we could. Let's wind down the music. Thank you very much. Okay, I know we're all writing, but have you done your commitment cards yet? Okay, would you just take a moment? Oh, timer. Will you just take a moment? This is where we can actually just develop relationship and accountability and personal commitment right here, right now. Can you take a moment and turn to your partner and just share with them what you're going to do? Take a moment. I'm doing XYZ. This is what I'm going to do. And while you're speaking to each other, maybe celebrate each other. Maybe give each other a high five. Maybe say, yay, you. Say, you're awesome. That's such a great idea. I'm so glad. Some celebration. Yes, you. Okay. Have we shared? Have we shared? Have we celebrated? All righty. Oh, yeah. I've just received an offering. From, ¿cómo se llama? From Fran, who is asking for folks to date their postcard. Date your postcard. You don't have to, but it might be a good idea. Date your postcard. Today's date is March 16th, 2024. March 16th, 2024. Put a date on it. Did you celebrate each other? Did you? Okay, great. I am a big believer in the power of speaking it out loud and speaking it regularly. Say it out loud here, say it out loud tomorrow, say it out loud to your dog, to your mother, to your significant other, say it out loud to the press, say it out loud, and it will happen. And with that, I would like to take a quick moment to introduce La Mera Mera, Abigail Vega. Listen, I got to know Abigail when she became the LTC producer in, no sé qué, 2014? Yeah. And we've worked together. She was the LTC producer for how many years? 6 years. And then worked for then became creative producer at HowlRound and is now at the JAR here in Boston as a creative producer, director of programming. But more than anything, Abigail is an amazing partner. If you ever have the good luck of being able to partner with Abigail on anything, you know it's going to kick ass with her badass. And with that, I introduce Abigail Vega.
Thank you, Lisa. Is it okay if I stand here for the live stream, Jacqueline? Yes, okay, great. Just making sure. You are all the most important people in the room, but, you know, just in case. All right. Folks, we nearly did it. We just have a little bit more of these closing ceremonies, and then we'll be heading over to our final party over... Oh, okay. Opposite answer. All right. Final part, this is how much I have on script. Our final party at Chroma tonight, hosted by some fabulous local Latinx artists. I wanted to spend a moment now continuing the conversation about mentorship. It got brought up several times during our time together this weekend. One of the guiding principles of the LTC is this concept of horizontal mentorship. everyone having someone, everyone has something to learn, and everyone has something to teach. That came up a lot for those of you who were in Austin at the TYA convening. If you've been to an LTC event, Carnival in Denver, Colaboratorio, Miami, Austin, you've heard us say this, and it's very true. 10 years ago, I was the 76th participant at this 2013 LTC convening. And when I came to the convening, one of the things that was said that Olga and Keenan and Clyde really stressed was that everyone here should leave with both a mentor and a mentee. No matter your age, someone needs your expertise. So later that night at the bar, Anthony Rodriguez asked me to be his mentor. Many of you here met him on Thursday at the convening, so you know kind of how that went. Now, Anthony couldn't be here today, but I asked him to kind of reflect back on our time together, our 10 years of mentorship. And he does have some beautiful words to share about that time. And we have brought in a professional actor today to read those words. So, folks, in the role today of Anthony Rodriguez, let's welcome to the stage Jay-Z Moreno.
It's difficult for me to completely contextualize the importance of the relationship between mentor, mentee, or between mentee, mentor. It's absolutely true. I did ask Abigail to be my mentor, and I am forever thankful that she agreed. At the time, I was having issues understanding some of the more nuanced and not so nuanced messages I was receiving from younger members of my staff. So when we were asked to leave with both a mentor and a mentee, I knew that I needed someone who could help me relate to my staff. But our mutual mentor-mentee relationship has been so much more than just, how does this old effing common ground with his younger, how does this old guy effing, who wrote this? How does this old guy find common ground with younger staff? Yo, this printing, inking is an issue. Abigail isn't just my friend. She's familia. I will always answer her call, and she has always answered mine. We are committed to making one another better and holding each other accountable. That's not just important for mentors and mentees. It's these relationships that we most rely on, that we must rely on, and trust. Relationships that are built on a foundation where we can call one another on our shit. My advice, as you seek a mentor or seek someone to be your mentee, is to be bold and fearless. Choose that person who you admire and respect, no matter their status in the pantheon of Latina theater. You may be worried that they will say no. Trust me that they will not. Okay, on the off chance that they do say no, you call, text, or email me. I will gladly be your mentor or mentee, or the word I prefer for this relationship, champion. The person who will fight the good fight for you and with you. Thank you. Tony, like Tony Award? Tony, my Tony. No, all joking aside, my relationship with Anthony, this is like, am I reading this? Is this you now?
I'm reading this.
Okay, I think we're done. I am done being Anthony.
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Thank you, all right.
My relationship with Anthony. It says, my relationship with Anthony has saved me several times. Not right now, but it's true, has saved me several times throughout my career. He has hired me when I needed work. He's talked me through tough career transitions. He's been my recommender for jobs and given me outside perspective when I needed it most. Sometimes All we need is a really confident guy from the South who can fundraise from anyone to tell us, no, you're not being too pushy if you ask for a little bit more money in a contract negotiation. So I want you to think, we have a few more minutes and one more party tonight. What do you need to learn? Don't forget the party. What do you need to learn? And what do you have to offer? So in a moment, I'm gonna ask you if you need a mentor, and I'm gonna ask if you can be a mentor. I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand, loud and proud. You're gonna take a look around the room and see who you might be able to approach to ask to be mentored. Remember, it's easy out there in the world to assume that you're taking up too much space or that people will tell you no or that people don't want you to succeed. Assume for a moment that everyone in this room wants you to be the best version of yourself. And assume that with your help, someone in this room will be more confident, more knowledgeable, more connected, and more prepared for success. So, if you need a mentor, raise your hand. Cool. Take a look. Great. Put your hands down. If you can be a mentor, raise your hand. Okay. Great. So let's practice together. You're going to repeat after me. Will you mentor me? Now let's practice saying, yes. Great. So at the party tonight, like Lisa said, as you're offering and passing out or giving your inspiration cards, take that, it doesn't have to be to the same person, take that bold step forward and ask someone to mentor you. You won't regret it. So now, I am proud to hand this mic, not this one, this mic over for one final time to our amazing LTC producer, Jacqueline Flores.
Just one final time like today, though. Not forever. Okay, that wasn't as funny as I guess it was in my head. Okay, you guys laugh at the things I don't think you're gonna laugh at, and then the things I try to be funny at, you don't laugh at. So that's what I've learned this weekend. Thank you all for joining us this weekend and celebrating the last 10 years of the LTC, interrogating the current state of our field, and looking towards the future. You've heard me point out the various committees that have made this convening happen throughout the last few days. Again, I want to thank the convening design, host, social, and matchmaking committees for their work the last few months in dreaming up what our time together would look like and bringing it to life. Let's give them a hand. I also want to again thank my counterpart in all of this, Abigail Vega. Yeah. Abigail has been my thought partner for the last few years, first in her role as creative producer at HowlRound, and now on the advisory committee for the LTC, and I am so, so grateful for her. I'm just going to keep repeating that none of this work happens alone, and I want to thank the HowlRound team for their thought partnership as well as their commitment to the Commons and for welcoming us all to their home here in Boston. Jamie Galloon and Vijay Matthew, who were both in this room 10 years ago, and this time too. Allison and Monroe, who have been on point for anything and everything and absolutely rocking it. Yeah. Ramona, who often hears my first draft ideas about anything from the content of our newsletters to how are we going to meet our fundraising goal. And the answer to the latter question is by going to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/support the LTC. Our work is made possible in part through individual donations, so for those tuning in via live stream, go to the link in the chat or scan the QR code if you'd like to make a donation. And Julia, who has spent many, many hours with me talking through every detail of this convening with so much care and thoughtfulness. I will spare you all the spreadsheet that breaks down every day of this convening to the minute, but we are really proud of it, so if you want to see it, we will show you. We love a spreadsheet. I believe that theater is a team sport, and I am so, so grateful for this team. Help me give them a hand. I want to take us back to that question Abigail asked on our first day. What will we do together this week? I have seen you all do incredible, innovative, and vulnerable things these last few days. And I'm so grateful to be a witness to that. And I want to remind you all that you are capable of all of those things outside of this room and outside of this space we've created. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've met new people. And as one of my college professors used to say, Dr. Rodenborn, if you're watching this, I hope it's been challenging because that is how we continue to grow. Thank you all for being part of this Commons. I hope to see you at our future programming events. And I also heard that the 20-year anniversary celebration is going to be a family barbecue. So I'll see you guys there. Take care of yourselves and each other. I have one more group to welcome before we all head to Chroma for our closing fiesta, which starts at 7:30 p.m. And I've been told it's a little bit warm there, so dress accordingly. And then grab a buddy to walk down. All right, now really the last time you'll hear from me. I'm very grateful to be introducing this group of movers and shakers who are going to close us out this evening. They are Juliana Fray Mendez, Fran Astorga, Giancarlo Yunen, JC Marrero, Becca Morton, and Laura Moreno. Take it away.
We have a little process that we're going to do as part of a ceremony that we've been devising in the shadows. But in continuation of the gracias, and to just reiterate them, as we enter our closing ceremony before the party, we want to give thanks to our producer, Jacqueline. Reiterate our thanks to the HowlRound staff. All the local people who made this possible outside of those circles. And the countless hours and sacrifices each one of us has made to show up and share space with one another. And in the way that we started this whole event, a reiterated acknowledgement for the land we stand upon and the lands we have come from to unite the four corners, north, south, east, and west.
Thank you so much. In a moment, so I'm just saying that now, we're going to ask you to take your chairs and your belongings and strike them to the sides. It can be on either side. And while you are doing so, take out your commitment card and make your way to the west side of the room for further instruction. So move your chairs and your personal belongings off, commitment card in hand, and to the west side of the room.
And y'all don't have to be in a line yet. Y'all can clump. Y'all are so good at following directions.
I'll make eye contact.
Absolutely.
Brought to you by Panera. Sponsored by Panera. Yeah. We're waiting for the photographer to get up.
Few friends over here. Giancarlo.
We're just waiting for our photographer to get into place up here. Sponsored by Panera. There she is. Wonderful. Excellent. Oh, she's telling us to hold on 1 second. Perfect. Excellent. So, if we can all take, whether you want to close your eyes or not, there was a lot of emotions today. So take a moment and just let's do one good collective breath. Ready? And in and out. Excellent. So what we wanted to do was some kind of like closing moment, just to kind of like physically walk through the space one last time, make our commitment, and to go on with our journeys, like to really close out. We didn't want it just to be clapping hands because, you know, we went through a lot this week and our bodies felt a lot of things. So what we want to do is we're going to ask you, when you are ready, to come forward and place your commitment card with one of us, and find your way, cross the threshold over to Juliana, and stand on either side of her to create a full circle around the room. So we're having you start on either side of her, and we will just make our way as everyone crosses the threshold, and then we will wait for further instructions. But from that point, we're gonna go to...
Yeah, so as we prepare to celebrate in community, we wanted to take this exercise to reflect how we're held by our community.
We're making these commitments as individuals to the field, but it is important to remember that as a community, we can not only hold each other accountable, but provide support in these communities.
In order to create belonging, we ourselves have to be open to belong.
As you deliver these commitments, think on how we can be embraced think on how you can be embraced by your community to help you succeed, not as a transaction, but as an exchange based on generosity and uplifting each other.
We recognize that we are not able to be here without those who have held us up and inspire us to be the best version of ourselves. We hope as we cross this threshold that we can continue to be that for each other.
We will now be receiving your commitments, and we understand the great responsibility it entails to symbolically receive them. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, cross the threshold.
And as we are finding our way to return to a circle, I invite you to begin rubbing your beautiful, gorgeous hands together. Let's do lightly, because I'm going to say a few words. I'm trying to find a spot in the circle. Thank you. We're going to scooch back. Thank you. Your palms have the second most nerve endings in the human body. And so we are going to use their power to reset our nervous system. In a moment, when I put the mic down, we are going to clap together 3 times and then put our palms facing in to the center of the circle. And now